Happy fall, y'all. Welcome to the OA podcast, where we have lots of opinions, but most of them are pretty average. I'm Anna.
And I'm Monica. By the time that this episode goes up, Halloween is literally right around the corner. And, most people like to talk about scary stuff on Halloween, but I don't. I'm a big baby. So we're just going to talk about, lighthearted stuff like traditions, favorite candies, scary movies, maybe sort of. And, it's just stuff like that. So we're happy to have you hang out with us just right before the Halloween season comes around. But first, let's be OA and do some shout outs.
Yay!
We got a few shout outs from our last episode. If you sent us an OA text message during while you're listening to the episodes, I actually get them on my phone as basically text messages. And I have a few here from JJ. As usual, JJ. Thanks for listening, JJ. He says, actually, he did comment first he commented about our back to school. So he did, message about those first. Here's my OA school thing. Thing as in JJ. I'm not being weird. I'm reading it how it is. Not sure where I got it from, but I would never use a black pen. It had to be blue. Later on in school, before color printers and copiers were everywhere, at least I knew the difference between my wet signature or a photocopy of it. That's very true. That's actually very helpful.
You know what? I'm like that too. I don't like using black ink. For some reason, I like using blue, just the stand that it stands out, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that, JJ.
Okay. His other comment says, I too used to have certain colored notebooks by class. See, I'm not the only one. It's not just me. But I don't remember what colors were the subjects. My favorite school supply could gym sneakers count? And then he says, let me know if you'd still like the messages on Instagram in addition to the text, because you were saying you missed his Instagram messages.
No, these are good. The texts are good. I was just so accustomed to getting them, and then I stopped getting them, and I was like, oh no, JJ's not listening to us anymore. But then you were like, he's texting us, which we asked for, so yeah.
Yes. So we're very grateful for your messages, JJ. Thank you for listening. And then we have a very long one from Dave. He says he just listened to the back to school episode and it brought back so many memories. He said my sister had a Sanrio pencil box like Anna mentioned.
Yeah.
He said he had one too, but it was probably from Chinatown.
Nothing wrong with that.
He also had a few Trapper Keepers. So, I mean, if you're around my age and you don't really know what that is.
Yeah. Dave and I are definitely in that same age range. Those are such a big thing.
He said he was he was addicted to the Velcro sound. I mean, it's a very big Velcro sound. So
yes.
It's back when ASMR wasn't huge. That was the original ASMR. And then much like Mon, I use different colors for certain subjects too.
Thanks, so you definitely were not the only one.
I feel validated. He had green for science because chemicals.
Oh.
Okay. Red for history because some history is bloody.
That's super valid.
And yeah, he wished more schools taught more practical subjects and some elementary school teachers teaching about budgeting and simulating colonies that taught budgeting and trading. Holy crap. I didn't even know what colonies were back then.
I don't think I know what colonies are now. I'm just kind of. I don't know what he means, but okay.
Well, thanks, Dave. Thank you
Thanks,
so much for
guys.
the messages, and thanks for listening as always. If you want to be a part of our OA shoutouts, be sure to send us an OA text message during your listening, after you're listening, before you're listening, anytime.
Yes, we're super appreciative of the messages for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So now that we did our OA shoutouts, Anna, what are we getting into now?
All right, so let's get into our Halloween episode. And I promise you guys, I don't think Mon is a scaredy cat. She just doesn't like discussing like real scary topics, I think. And I
Mm.
love it. So I always kind of like egg her on. So I'll try, guys. I'll try. So we're just going to talk about a couple of different topics that people like to discuss during Halloween. So
Mm.
I'll get started. I'm just going to ask you a very simple question. Hopefully it's
Yay.
not too bad. But okay, so the first question is, and you guys like answer along with us, text us while you're listening and give us your responses and all this kind of stuff. But what's the scariest movie you ever saw as a kid?
Mm.
Do you still think it's scary? And then we can also talk about like just favorite movies in general. We put out polls in our Instagram, so we'll go ahead and we'll like mention those too. But Mon, I'm asking you. So like, did you watch scary movies as a kid? Do you still think they're scary? Like, let's get into that.
So, the scariest movie that I ever saw, and probably was the only one that I ever willingly watched, and it convinced me to never watch them ever again,
I'm
was actually
scared,
The
or I'm like so
Ring.
nervous.
It's
Wait, say
The
that again.
Ring.
I validate you. That was scary, but tell me which one. Like, was it the American version or the Japan? I think it was a Japanese version. That was the original one.
I don't think
Both were scary.
I don't think I would have been even more traumatized if it was the Japanese one because I heard that one was scarier.
Yes.
But it was the American one,
Mhm.
and I, I, I think I was only in like 6th or 7th grade. And I was actually at my very first sleepover with a bunch
Oh
of
my God.
girls.
Oh my God. That's so traumatizing.
And I was at someone else's house and they wanted to watch it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I started crying.
That movie is, I
Scared.
100% agree, Mon. That's a hella scary movie. That's the one with Naomi Watts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I was not
Yeah.
that young when it came out.
For those who haven't watched it or don't know about the movie,
Yeah, give us a little like premises.
from a person who doesn't like scary movies, my quick rundown is that The Ring is about a videotape, right? It was a VHS tape.
Yeah, a VHS tape.
And if you got this VHS tape, you watched it, you were cursed with a 7-day deadline or whatever you call it. Like within
Expiration.
yeah, essentially. You had 7 days until you were gonna die. And that wasn't like the scary part. The scary part was that the video that the VHS had, it was like such a eerie, creepy vibe. Like it had static, the white noise, and then it had very, very scary clips of this girl standing next to a well in the middle of nowhere, and it's like black and white and whatever. And essentially, I mean, I'm spoiling like everything about it, but essentially,
it was 20 years old by this point, so I think it's okay. But yeah, spoiler alert. Spoiler
this girl
alert.
Had like really long hair.
Yeah, like in front of her face.
I think like her mom pushed her into the well or something, and she died.
Remember.
I don't know, but she died in the well essentially, and I guess to have revenge, or she's not at rest. She haunts people with this video, and she kills them. And I remember it still so vividly in my mind. She like crawls out of the well, crawls towards like your screen, and she freaking comes out of the screen.
You know what? I like 100% like agree with you as a person that kind of likes scary movies. Like that freaked me the F out. And I'm as you're saying it, the images are in my head.
Yeah, I don't know why
Why
in my
did I
mind,
ask
like,
that question?
why am I retelling this? Because now I'm imagining it. And I think
Yeah.
that's like the thing that I don't like about scary movies is like the imagery. It really sticks with me.
Yeah.
So it's like I can be really into the plot. Like I'm really intrigued on like what's going
Mhm.
on, but I don't like the jump scares. I don't like the gore. I don't
Mhm.
like the scary images. And it's just, it sticks with me. And I remember after watching it, not only was I scarred from the sleepover, I ruined the whole night. Um,
Aw.
we stopped watching the movie. I could not sleep that night. And even when I went home, I could not sleep because I just imagined something in my closet just like waiting for me.
I
It's
bet.
just
But you know
waiting.
what? I bet that you're not the only kid that was scared at that party.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's no way.
And
That's actually kind of inappropriate to let a
I
bunch of
agree, but I
yeah.
don't know. It was their party.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true,
the
true.
one of the more triggering parts about that whole movie is that after the person in the movie watches the video, your phone rings.
Yeah, the
And
phone
that's
rings,
and
right?
I remember like my older cousins, they had also watched it separately and they told me about how after they finished the movie, literally our home phone rang and they like freaked the heck out.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they were fine, but it was like obviously like, oh my god, I'm gonna die in 7 days.
That's
um,
yeah, that's so
so
sad. What were you, like 12 years old?
something like that,
Yeah,
whatever age you are at 6th or 7th grade, but I indeed still find it very scary.
yeah. That's very I as a person that again likes scary movies, super validate that that's
Mhm.
one of the like movies that I was hella scared of. Like when I
Mm,
was not as young as you, but like yeah.
yeah, I'm afraid to ask you what was your scariest movie that you
I
saw as a
don't
kid.
just my thing was like I think I told you this before and you kind of were just like tripping about it or like just like holy shit, but like me and my brothers really liked Nightmare on Elm Street growing up. Like all those movies we
Mm,
loved. And you know what's funny? My mom loved them and she took us to the movies. Us three kids. My mom would take us and I'm the oldest and I was like probably like 12 years old and my
mm,
brothers were younger and we just loved those movies and we still talk about them now. I don't know, but the scariest one I would have to say is like The Exorcist. Um,
uh,
I watched that and I won't like I think that one was just like it's scary because it's old, I think. And I also all till now don't like scary movies that have like a churchy type of theme. You know what I mean? Like
oh
I
yeah.
don't like that. Like that like freaks me out. Although like I really like the Omen movies. Like I've seen those. Like
You
I
really
don't know.
like them? What do
Yeah,
you
I
like
like them,
about them? I don't
but like
understand.
but I think that those like churchy exorcism type movies are like bleh. Like I don't like those. But Exorcist, yes, I think that that movie is super super scary.
Mhm,
And I still think like I think I watched it recently, like in the last year, and it
mhm,
is still very scary. And I remember my mom telling me like that movie was out when she was like not at maybe like a teen, like high
yeah,
school or maybe a little bit older, and
mhm,
like it was such a huge thing in the Philippines. Like groups and groups of people were watching it and they were all like really, really scared. So yeah, I think
yeah,
that's part of it is that it's just like lasted the test of time. But I
mhm,
definitely think that it's still like a very scary movie.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would
Let's
not watch
lighten
that.
things up.
Yes, please.
Okay. Next question. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I actually have a. Well, I I was actually going to ask you that same question, for my set of questions. But, do you still wear Halloween costumes? Clearly, I still
Mon
wear something
is yeah,
similar.
and I yeah, and I have this costume. We actually matched, so we'll post. I
Yes.
think we posted it before, but we bought the skeletons for when we went on our ill-fated cruise.
Yes. It was me during Halloween time, so we
Yes,
thought we'd
yeah.
be cute to like wear onesies.
Yes,
And
yeah.
this is like the second time I've ever worn this.
Yes, yes. I don't wear costumes. Do you? Well, you are wearing one now.
Well, I mean, I could barely call this like a costume, but I mean, really, I don't really wear costumes anymore. Do you remember your last costume?
Oh my
I mean, aside from
gosh.
this one, like a legit costume that you like prepared for
Yeah.
like Halloween.
You know what? Honestly, like I don't think I've dressed. I don't. believe I dressed up in high school. I don't remember dressing up in high school. It was probably like middle school or
Mm-hmm.
even like before that. I remember I was like, just those generic costumes that you would buy like at a spirit-esque type store. Like I remember being a gypsy once and I thought it was really cool because I got to wear
Oh.
makeup. I was Little Red Riding Hood once. Yeah, but nothing like I don't know, like I'm like shy about dressing up and I never really like went all out, but I know like Noah with his costumes, like he's very elaborate. He still dresses up. He actually just showed me what he was wearing this year
Okay.
as he's throwing a Halloween party. And I remember spending a lot of time and money and effort putting
Oh,
his costumes together, even as like a teenager or like, a preteen and stuff like that. But me, myself, not really. What about
I
you?
see. I remember, I think one of my last costumes that I ever wore was I dressed up like Rosie the Riveter. And I think for like the same reason of like I was getting into makeup or whatever, and I just
Mhm.
had like an excuse to wear makeup and like do my hair or whatever. Because Rosie the Riveter, I mean, for those who don't know who she is, I'll put like a
You're gonna
picture
have to
or
share with
whatever.
me.
the
Wait,
the photo?
is that the lady that is like she's like flexing her muscles?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
one with like the
yeah,
bandana and like
yeah,
the
yeah,
denim
yeah.
shirt.
And it's like
Yeah,
from like the 60s or 50s or something like that.
yeah. And I feel like the only reason I chose that costume was because it was a safe-ish choice to wear at work. Cause like you know how like at
Mm.
work it's kind of like you
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
offend somebody or you
Right,
don't want to
right.
look like stupid.
Oh my God, we should have a Halloween costume party one year.
Yeah,
I don't know
sure.
why that just came in my head, but
Sure.
like
We're not allowed to wear onesies. You got to do like an
a
actual
real
like
costume.
thing.
Maybe next year with the
Maybe
OA
next
book
year.
club and like,
Oh
or
yeah.
some of the
That'd
people
be
that
fun.
maybe yeah, we're gonna put that out there that we're gonna throw a party and then I'm gonna get really shy and then kind of pretend that I didn't do it. Mon,
Um
did you used to dressing up and all that kind of stuff when you were growing up?
for some reason I really remember at least more in like high elementary school. You know in elementary school they had like the kids like line up in their costumes and
Yeah, the
parade
parade. Yeah.
around the
It was
playground.
literally like a throwaway school day, right?
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about it now and like, so you're telling me they had kids dress up in these costumes and then they have like their parents taking pictures and there could just been like a creeper like taking pictures of
That's true.
all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
kids. But yeah, I remember dressing up as a doctor. I remember dressing up as a tennis player.
Oh, that's a unique
Um,
one.
I never played tennis in my life. I didn't even go after a certain athlete. It was just tennis
A
player.
tennis player.
and then and then I actually dressed up. I think I actually did it more than once. I dressed up as the Scream guy. The
Oh, yeah. My cousins did that for like 8 years in a row.
Cuz it's just basically black
Yeah, a black
uh
robe
robe and the
and the
mask.
mask. Yeah, yeah. That's a
But
good
I never
one.
watched that movie. I don't know even know why we had that costume. But
That's a good costume because it's like they made so many movies year after year, so it was like
true.
relevant for many years.
Didn't they make a new
So
one
yeah,
with like
yeah.
Jenna
I mean,
Ortega?
Jenna Ortega, yeah, was in
Mhm.
a new Scream movie. Gosh, it's probably like the eighth or ninth movie that they've made.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching maybe two or three, but I don't haven't watched many more.
Did not watch any.
Any,
If anything, I
yeah.
came close to watching Scary Movie,
Uh,
which is like the parody version of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or
like a
something.
spoof, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know why I wore those, but I wore pretty basic costumes, nothing like out of the ordinary or
yeah.
whatever. But
You know what I do know, like, or like I was just telling you guys how like we always went all out for Noah for Halloween.
mhm,
Good God, costumes are expensive.
mhm.
Like it's just like I remember this is like, and he's a grown man now, so we don't purchase his costumes. But I remember like even 10 years ago, it would be $100 easy on a costume. Like
That's crazy.
yeah. But I love how a lot of people like make their own costumes now. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the like younger people these days, like everyone's into thrifting, right? So a lot of
Yes.
people thrift and put stuff together, which
Mm-hmm.
is like super cool. So I think that's like a better way to go. But yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's only gotten worse in terms of like how expensive things are.
You either spend your money on a costume or you spend your money on candy.
Yes.
So, speaking of candy, my next question for you is, do you have like a favorite
I
Halloween
do.
candy
Yeah.
or treat? It doesn't have to be necessarily candy, but like,
Mhm.
do you have a very specific Halloween candy that you
So
enjoy?
I it just in general, but I guess it comes up more often during Halloween because it's something that you'll get like if you went with a kid trick or treating or whatever. So my favorite candy, I want to say probably my favorite candy of all time is peanut M&Ms. So
Oh,
not peanut butter
interesting.
M&Ms, but peanut M&Ms, the ones in
Yeah.
the yellow bag.
Mm-hmm.
So when we used to take Noah trick or treating, that was like my favorite thing that he would get. And now that we buy, we buy back, like, this, we have bags around the house during this time for you
Mm-hmm.
guys and everyone, and especially who has polished off like 100 Ferrero Rocher, whatever, in the last couple days. But yeah, like that is my favorite candy. I love getting it in Halloween bags and all that kind of stuff. Um, like, what about you? I was gonna say we should also talk about like what is the least favorite thing that you would get. So I'll start with that. I think that almond joys are weird.
Oh, that's like, I don't even know what the filling is. I don't like
It's
those.
coconut, isn't it?
Oh, it's coconut. No wonder I
Yeah,
don't like
I want to
it.
say it's like I don't know. I don't know for sure. Like coconut and then covered
Almonds.
in
Like
almonds, and
literally
then
just
yeah,
almonds.
almond joy obviously, and like covered in chocolate. I want to
Mm.
say, but I'm not 100% sure.
My favorite candy to get was the 100 grand. Do you,
Ooh,
did you ever
that's
have
kind
those?
of a rarity. You don't
Yeah.
often get that in a bag. That's not
Yeah.
something
I
that
mean,
they
I think they're actually
typically.
considered like one of the worst, like calorie wise candy
Oh.
bar because they're just
Mhm,
like caramel and chocolate and nougat and all that stuff. But I loved finding that in my trick or treating bag
mhm.
whenever people handed out because, yeah, no one really gave those out.
Yeah,
But
it's not part of the bag.
no, you have to buy like a very specific variety
Specific
pack.
bag, yeah. Isn't it
um,
funny how, like, when you trick or treat, like, say you're a kid, like, you go through all your favorites first, and then what is it? Like, well, how do we say that? Like, your pickiness goes down levels, like, you'll start getting into the stuff that you wouldn't normally eat
oh,
just
yeah.
because that's what's left,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Totally. You know, like going back to your house after a long day of trick or treating and then sorting out your candy, which ones like, oh, you group them all together, all your M&Ms, all your Twix,
Yeah.
Snickers, and whatever, and then you have your pile of what you're like meh about, and if you want to trade it with whoever you were trick or treating with, um, but yeah, I remember doing that, and I remember in my meh pile, um, I didn't like when I got raisins. Did you ever get raisins?
I'm
Ew.
sure we did, but the one thing, like something that I think of that people like sometimes give, and I'm like, why? Why are like those gummy, like food shaped ones, like they're shaped like hamburgers,
Oh, I
but
still
it's
like those.
you like those?
I ate those. You don't like them?
Like, I'm a very like chocolate like I like
Oh.
chocolate candy. So like I definitely like Sour Patch Kids and like
Hmm.
sour watermelons and those like basic sour ones, but I'm definitely like a chocolate candy person through and through. And those are always like kind of the first to go. But
Oh,
yeah,
it's like
like
I'm gonna
I've
trade
definitely
you
like
for a different chocolate bar.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh my God, for sure.
Oh
But Mon,
gosh.
when you were growing up, like, did you go trick or treating? Like, did your parents take you guys and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think up until like high school, I went trick or treating. Maybe not junior or senior year of high school. I really don't remember if I did. Yeah, my dad would usually be the one to take us up our like street from our
Mhm.
house, up and down the hill, to a couple of the houses. And I remember one time we came to this house, and you can tell that this guy. was like so over it already. He's like, he took his big bucket and he was like, you know what? He just started taking like handfuls and just,
Oh,
he's
dang.
like,
Well, good
he
for
wanted to run out. Yeah,
you.
I
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
like came up on that house,
yeah,
but I was like, man, he just wanted to be over with giving out
yeah.
candy
Yeah,
real
it's like
soon.
those people that leave the stuff outside. Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
seen that where they leave like a plate or like a bowl or whatever of candy outside? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think that trick or treating has changed so much through the years. Like, I just felt like people trick or treated everywhere. Everyone, there's so many kids on the street with their
Yeah.
parents, and it was like so much fun. And then I think as the time went by, it's not the case anymore. Like I remember with Noah, when we used to take him, we only used to go to like particular neighborhoods that we knew had a
Oh.
ton of kids and a ton of houses giving candy. And it wasn't even in our city. It was like there were
Mm-hmm.
known like pockets of areas in the Bay where it's like, that's where they're going to give out candy or whatever. And then,
Yeah.
that whole like mall thing,
The what?
you know
Oh,
that? Like
I
when
never went to
they
the mall.
yeah, but like, so like, we never did this, but I think like the mall, when, like at the mall, the stores started giving out candy. So then people
Oh.
would just go to the mall and trick or treat around the
Oh,
mall and then would not go on the streets anymore. So it
I
started to
see.
become a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing. We don't do it anymore. Obviously, like we don't have a kid to bring trick or treating anymore. So I don't know, but I know that we don't get a lot of trick or treaters. Do you guys give out candy, Mon?
No, I remember the first time that we moved here, and I was like, "Oh God, now I have to start giving. I have to be the one to start giving away candy." And
Hmm.
no kid came to our house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're probably right. Like they probably have heard of certain areas that give really
Hmm.
good candy, or like there's a general amount of houses that are just really into Halloween. So
Yeah. Yeah.
people
Definitely.
drive to those areas to
Right.
do the
Right.
trick or treating there.
Hmm.
So I knew of houses in a certain neighborhood where they gave out full size candy bars. So it's like, well, yeah, I want to go
Of course, you're
there.
gonna go there.
I want
Yeah.
to go there, and I get to
Yeah.
choose. So why
Yeah.
not?
Definitely. Definitely.
I think, yeah, trick or treating definitely changed after COVID too,
Yes.
because
Yeah. That's
you
definitely a thing too.
you had to be like 6 feet apart, so people got really creative and like had like these shoots of candy,
Aw.
because like you can't be close, but I'm gonna basically throw this at you or um give it to you with like an extended arm or
Right.
something.
And also just like after COVID, it's just like, dude, who wants to go to a stranger's house and get food?
Also, I mean,
Which sucks. I mean, but it's always been the thing. So
candy, I mean, trick or treating nowadays have been like sketchy because there's some crazy people
yeah.
out there with
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
they
For
mess with
sure.
the candy, and
Yeah.
it's like you can't even trust people anymore, so people just buy their own candy and just
Yeah,
eat
and
it.
I also think that like they throw Halloween. People actually, I don't remember this so much growing up, but I feel like now like people throw Halloween parties. Like it's always like a
Mm,
big party time like the weekend before Halloween. So people kind of just do that and have candy, and if they have kids there, like they do it all together instead of like walking around on the street. It sucks, but it's like a different time, I guess. I don't know,
mm,
like, and we also don't know like what it's like in other states. Like I feel like the
right.
whole Bay Area is pretty much like pretty similar, where people only go to certain places, or they have like actual neighborhoods that are shut down
Mm.
specifically for trick-or-treating and stuff like that. But it's different. It's definitely different.
I mean, let us know if you're a listener out there with kids and you take them trick or treating. What do you do? Do you take them to like trunk or treating, or I think that's what they call it
What's
now?
trunk-or-treating?
Like people go to a parking lot and set up their
Oh,
cars, their trunks, like
their
they
trunks are
decorate it and stuff.
open.
Their trunks are open, so kids and families trick or
Gotcha.
treat over
Yeah,
there
yeah.
instead of houses.
Right. It's
So
definitely safer, right? I mean, you guys
yeah,
are all there. Yeah,
it's a
yeah. That
little
makes
more
sense.
controlled. Although I think I heard last year there was like a trunk or treating event, and um, someone gave away, not,
Oh
it wasn't
God.
candy, but I think they were like giving away like homemade goods, and like they kind of got people sick. So, uh,
Uh,
so
Jesus.
just be careful. in
Yeah.
general for
Yeah.
Halloween, whether you're trick or treating or going partying, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be careful.
Yes.
Have fun,
But
but be careful.
Mon, don't you think like so Av and I were actually talking about this maybe last year, but don't you
Hmm.
feel like Halloween has gotten way bigger in the years? Like, I don't know, like I feel like I don't feel like it's always been like this big. Like people prepare for it so early. Like you know how it's just like you go to Target in August and all the Halloweens, all the like we were saying in our back to school episode, the back to school stuff is pretty much done if you're just starting in August.
Right.
The Halloween stuff is out and it's like the official like signal when you start seeing the stuff at Target, Michael's and all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff that it's like fall, you know,
Yeah.
and Halloween's coming and it's people love it. I mean, we have friends that are who have houses that are super decorated. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know if it's because it's like the generations that, they really enjoyed Halloween growing up that
Yeah.
now they still want to they're like a little bit more open about really
Mhm.
enjoying Halloween that yeah, they're starting as soon as they can, as
Yeah.
soon as it hits the
Like
burr
September
months.
1st or yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's kind of like, Filipinos with like Christmas. You
Christmas,
start
yeah.
Christmas like
It's
way
Christmas in
ahead.
the Philippines. It's been
Yeah.
Christmas in the Philippines.
Yeah. And
We're
I mean
6
that's
weeks
cool.
behind.
Yeah. I mean it's cool, like there's like so many things that you could like enjoy and like why not? If you're into Halloween, if that is
Yeah.
your thing, go
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it. Um
Yeah.
just really quick to like kind of like a callback from like our last episode for the hypothetical situations.
Mhm.
If you haven't listened to that episode with Jay and Av guest starring, you should really listen to it. There
Yeah.
is a hypothetical situation that Jay brought up, and it was about like how many Hershey bars, like the full size Hershey bars, could you eat in 24 hours? And I think like every Hershey bar that you ate, you got like $1,000 or something,
Mhm.
and you couldn't like overshoot or you had to eat the exact amount, that type of thing.
Right.
There were varying answers, and I claimed that I could eat 30 within 24 hours. I think it's still doable in my head,
I
but
think it is. I mean, there's 24 hours, right? Like
yeah,
if you ate like a little more than 1 an hour, you could
yeah.
totally do it. Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably sleep for like at least 4 to 6 of those hours. I don't know if I could stay up that late. But
You're winning
yeah,
$1,000. We're gonna
yes,
say.
and all that sugar will probably keep me up. Who knows?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
But let's say if it wasn't Hershey bars,
Mhm.
what candy from Halloween or whatever do you think that you could eat a lot of in 24 hours? And I mean, depending on the size of it, it's like yeah, you can get like $1,000 for
Yeah.
every piece of candy or
So
candy
mine's
bar.
a cheat because it's M&Ms, so, like, you could eat hella
Ooh,
M&Ms.
so you
Another
would eat
one
like a full size bag?
I could probably eat, like yeah, I think I could do I don't know, I feel pressured. I know I could eat hella peanut M&Ms, that's for sure. Another one that I just
Ah,
thought of, so these are all, like, small candies, I guess, but,
for
like,
sure.
that we could eat a lot of, like, in this household. Like, so I
Hmm.
just said so Ab was just gifted a Costco size box of Ferrero Rocher from Vicky. Shout out to Vicky. Hi, Vicky.
Ah, hi Vicky.
To celebrate the closing of Beehive.
Hmm.
Oh my God, he has eaten like half the box in like 3 days. Like 40 piece. I know it's like literally I've eaten 3 pieces. I want to
Uh-huh.
say there's 80 in there and it's more than half gone at this
Oh
point.
boy.
And like yesterday, he's like, I can't just eat like one, like because I eat them like one at a time.
Sure.
So I thought he was gonna bring like he was getting it and then we were gonna watch something on the couch. I thought he was gonna get like two. There's like five. And he's like, I'm not gonna eat it all at once. I'm just gonna eat it like here and there. And I'm like, wow. So that's an
Eh.
easy one. You know what another one is? Another
Uh,
candy that he eats a lot of, and I like it too. Have you
mhm.
ever heard of toffee, Faye?
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
I
I thought it
think,
was
or is
like
it
toffee fee.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Toffee, whatever. I think I'm not sure.
I think I know what
You
you
make
mean, but I don't think I've
yeah.
actually like
So
had it.
it's the same again. It's another like small, like it's a half like half, a rounded candy. It's so all the things that we're eating has nuts,
Mm-hmm.
chocolate, and like something else. So like toffee, I think is
Mm.
caramel based. So there's caramel, but all
Oh.
those small ones, like he can literally like, So I think for me personally, I could do better with that than eating just like a bar of chocolate. I know we were
Mm.
talking about how like all the nuts and the caramel like make it heavier, but I think
Yes.
like I don't know, I think I can eat it better just because I like texture. So,
Ah,
yeah.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to switch it up from a Hershey's bar with something a little bit more complex, I think
Mhm.
I'd go with Reese's peanut butter cups.
Ooh.
Is it Reese's or Reese's?
Reese's. Reese's.
Reese's? Reese's.
Reese's. I don't know. No, you're making me second guess
Because when people
everything.
say you like the little versions, like the
Mhm.
pieces, because
Yeah.
it's Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. I don't really think it is.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's.
And I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I prefer the small ones over like the
Mhm.
full sized ones.
Ooh, I like the full size ones. I feel like the small ones, there's too much chocolate. I
Oh,
don't know.
really?
It's
I
like
felt
the
like the
chocolate
proportions are
seems,
better.
I feel like the chocolate is thicker in the
Oh,
small cups.
interesting. I actually think it's the opposite. I think there's more chocolate in
And the
the
other one,
peanut
well,
butter
it's
cups.
bigger, but I think
Yeah.
like the layer of chocolate, but that's a
Mhm.
good one that is also in my fridge right now
Ooh,
because
I really want one. I'm gonna ask Jay to buy me some.
I'll save
But
you
yeah.
some for this weekend.
Oh yay. I think because it's like chocolate, the sweet part, and then the
Mhm.
peanut butter is like salty, it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really
That's
like,
a good
jump up
chocolate,
the
yeah.
thing.
So I actually really like the larger Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups when
Ooh.
they're not super hard, like they're a little bit soft already. I think
Ah,
that's pretty good. So
interesting.
weirdly, so here's another a question for you. So
Hmm.
in this household, the roommate that I live with,
Okay.
he likes to refrigerate all the candy. I think that's weird. Like
Is
M&Ms,
it?
caramello, everything goes in the fridge in terms of chocolate. I think
Oh.
that's weird. Do you?
Oh, we don't have too many like chocolate things or like candies. Because if we did, we'd eat them all.
We
Um,
have a stock here.
where? But actually, I can relate to like refrigerating candy, especially like chocolate and stuff.
Yeah.
Like growing up, my parents would always have like if they bought a bag of Kit Kats, they would just have it in the fridge and it'd be cold. It's
I
funny
like
because we just and they were actually like those limited edition Oreos that like
Mhm.
taste like Diet Coke or Coke
Yes,
Zero.
you left it here at my house. We have some.
We took the sodas. um, but I actually told Jay, I was like, "Oh, should I refrigerate these Oreos?" And he looked at me like, "What?
Yeah, I don't know about
why
that.
do you why do you refrigerate Oreos? It's not like they're gonna melt."
Mhm.
I
But
don't know, in my head.
people like I love, so this is like I'm just like an oxymoron at this point, but I love refrigerated thin mints. Like I
Oh,
know that
those are
or
good.
frozen thin mints. Like people
Yeah.
pop those in the freezer.
Yeah,
So those
it's
are
like it
yeah.
makes like the minty part of it like even more intense or
Yeah, yeah.
something. So no, I
Definitely.
totally relate to that. I definitely do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could probably find like a thing of Kit Kats or Crunch Bars or something in
Mhm.
my in my
Yeah, yeah.
fridge. It
Definitely.
probably absorbs some of the smell of like stuff
Yeah.
in my
All right, you guys. So we took a poll from our lovely
mm.
IG subscribers and we asked people what is their favorite Halloween candy. So we got a couple
Ooh.
of responses because we just did this afternoon.
We put out the
So
poll
yes,
today, and
yes,
these are
poll of the
like
day. Yes.
really
Okay. So
recent.
Ferd,
Thanks to the suggestion of JJ.
JJ,
He's the
yeah.
one who mentioned it. So
Yeah, yeah.
in honor of JJ, what do we got? What do we
Yes.
got?
Yeah. Okay, so Ferd, his favorite is Kit Kat, which makes
Ooh.
sense because Ferd's wife's name is Kat. So
Oh.
that makes
Hi
sense that
Bird.
that's
Hi
his favorite.
Cat. If you're
Hello.
listening, I love
Okay,
Kit Kats.
I know. I don't know. I used to really like it. It's so weird how like you go through phases. Like I don't reach for it anymore.
Oh,
It's kind
then
of
I'll
weird.
eat them. It's okay.
Okay. Rylene, her favorite
Ooh.
is Twix. She didn't specify caramel or peanut butter. There's peanut butter
Peanut
Twix, right?
butter.
Wait, there's peanut butter Twix, isn't there?
Oh,
Isn't
there
it
might be,
too?
but I never ate that one. But I love me a
You love
Twix.
Twix. I like. I feel like there's a. I feel like I like peanut butter Twix, but
Oh,
yes,
it's like a red wrapper.
yes, it's a different wrapper. But
Oh.
the caramel is original. The
Mm-hmm.
person that lives with me in this house buys Twix ice cream. Have you seen that?
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing too. And then we have Mary Lou who
Hmm.
also likes, I'm trying to see. I think what she's peanut Reese's peanut butter
Mm,
cups. I
I
think is what
approve.
she's trying to say through
Those are
emoji.
good.
So we just said those are we also asked people like what their favorite Halloween movies are. So these are some that aren't
Ooh.
like bad. So these are good. So we got like Halloween Town.
Oh yes,
That's
yes,
like
yes.
a
That's a
Disney
classic.
one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, Mary Lou put The Craft. Have you seen that
Oh,
movie?
I actually watched that one.
I love that movie.
That
Yeah.
wasn't like really scary or
It
like
wasn't
it was more
scary.
like a thriller
Yes, yeah.
thing and
Kind of like a
witchcrafty.
teen, a
Yeah,
bunch of attractive teens that
go crazy.
practice witchcraft. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Oh,
you know,
sorry.
it's a good one. Teen
Hold on.
Witch. Is that how you
Teen
say
Witch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it?
That's a
I
classic.
mean,
That's
it's not really like Halloween theme, but it's like she's a
yeah,
witch
yeah,
or whatever. I
yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah. Do you have an OA thing? Like, do you have like a tradition that you do, or do you have like a memory or something like that you like remember from when you were a kid?
I think we posted this last year, but one of my OA things from when I used to dress up or whatever is that I did like a makeup look when I was trying to
I
do more like
remember.
beauty stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
That was all that I committed my time to was just to do my face in like makeup. And it was basically a look of I was a mannequin doll, you know, the ones that like yap or whatever. And it had like a broken piece come off the
I do
mannequin
remember.
doll.
Yeah.
And I did that part. I shaded it in like I was like a rotting zombie on the inside.
Mhm.
And yeah, I did all of that. It took me hours and I never even went out with it. I just took some pictures and that was it.
Well, what do they say? Like, if you didn't take a picture, it didn't happen. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's still out there. I think I don't
yeah.
know if we posted that last year, but maybe we could repost that again.
Post it again. Yeah. Okay. I have two funny things. One, not
Yes.
both of them are about me, but one is about my brother that I
Oh,
just
okay.
discovered about him that is really, really weird. But he told me that he watches Hocus Pocus every
Oh.
October 1st, not
Oh.
before October 1st. I don't know if he watches it after October 1st, but he cannot watch it until October 1st. I literally just found this out like a week ago and I thought it was super
Oh.
interesting or like
It's
not
a really good movie.
yeah, yeah, and I watched it, on October 1st just to, like, do that, and just, like,
Oh.
something super random that I wanted to share with everybody, is that my first job as, like, a 15-year-old teen was at the Spirit Halloween store at Serramonte Mall.
You know, in relations to that, and I think I've also mentioned it to before, an extra bonus OA thing about me is that that's actually one of the first dates that Jay took me on when we first started dating. And he did not know how scared I
Scared
was.
No way! I didn't even know that.
And so I remember he was like, "Oh, we should go into the Halloween store." And I didn't want to be like the big baby. It's like, "No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to."
Yeah,
And so I was
yeah.
like, "Okay, sure." And you know, we were going through and you know, you get to that part where it's like the costumes and then
Yeah.
there's a section of the costumes where it just gets like scarier and
Yeah, and then
scarier.
the mask area, right? Remember the
And
mask
so
area?
when we got to that part, I barely knew Jay at this point. Like there was no like physical contact or whatever. We're just going on like a date, talking. But like I could not help myself. I was like, mm. I like grabbed his hand and I was like, and I was
Well,
like,
he
can we
probably did it on
go?
purpose. He did it on purpose. That was his
It's a
strategy.
trick. It was planned just to hold my hand.
Yes, yes. Oh, I
But
didn't
yeah.
know that.
So Yeah, Spirit Halloween. Did you know that Spirit Halloween is also going to start doing Spirit Christmas now?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like the spirit of Christmas or something like that.
Yeah, or
Did you
like they're just going
know?
to swap their stuff to like Christmas decorations and
Okay,
whatnot.
this is a really interesting random fact about the
Hmm.
spirit store. And I heard about this because I actually, like a friend of mine, her family franchises spirit Halloween stores.
No
So this is just
way.
super random, but this is how it works. You pay like X amount of money, like I don't even know, maybe $50,000. I don't know the exact amount. So you
I feel
pay
like it's
this
more.
company 50, whatever, 100,000,
Mm.
50,000, whatever, and they give you all the product, all the decoration. It even comes
Oh,
with the leases for the actual like building that you're going to lease. So you
wow.
put that money up, and then everything else on top of that money you get to keep. Did you know that?
What?
So that's how they make their profit.
Wow, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I know like things like franchise and whatever, that's how you do
Mhm.
it. You
Mhm.
basically invest your own money and then
Yeah.
the company will help you out in like setting up the stuff. Like
Mhm.
not gonna lie, I looked up in like franchising like a Happy Lemon boba place. And holy crap, those things are
They're
expensive.
expensive, yeah, and I don't
So,
know if it's still like that, like, this was, like, maybe, like, 10, 15 years ago that she
mhm,
told me this, but I was like, "What?" Like, I but you have to put out, like, a huge sum of money, but,
mhm.
like, everything that you make on top of that is yours to keep, like, it's
That's
basically, like,
crazy.
they're just giving you all the stuff,
Because I
so,
mean,
yeah.
like you were saying, like costumes are expensive, and
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
a lot of people hold parties and
mhm.
stuff like that. So
And
I'm
they
sure they make
start
a killing,
they
pun
start
intended.
so early. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It starts super early, like mid-August, you see them popping up everywhere already,
right.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now I can imagine for like Christmas, if they're gonna start doing
Yeah.
it for Christmas, holy crap, that's gonna even go
Yeah.
for much longer,
Yeah, yeah,
and
for sure.
someone's gonna make a lot of money. But that's
We should look
cool.
into that.
I know.
Not
Our next endeavor, we're going to be franchising not Spirit
spirit store.
Halloween. If we are, I'm going to be in the front half of this store.
Yeah, true, true, for
I
sure.
will not be handling the back end where all the
I
scary
worked
masks
I
are.
worked the mask area.
You can
My when I
stay
first
there
started
then.
working, yeah, I worked the mask area, and I remember there was a wall, and they would put all the masks up, and then people would be
Uh,
like, "Number whatever," and it would be like Michael
right.
Myers, and I'd have to, like, dig it up and, like, give it to the person. It was
Yeah.
gross. Yeah. I hella remember that. Oh my god.
Wow. We are at the end of this episode. I hope you guys found this entertaining and not too scary with my very great description of the ring.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert if you hadn't watched it. Sorry. I mean, if you're still interested, go ahead and watch it. I barely
Yes.
spoiled anything. um, but yeah, now it's your turn to let us know what your average opinion on Halloween is. Do you have a favorite candy? Do you have a favorite costume? Do you have any special memories, any OA memories about Halloween that you'd like to share with us? Send us an OA text message and we'll give you a shout out in the next episode.
All right, you guys. So don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. We're on IG, Threads, YouTube. Let us know what you want to see more of from us. Any episode ideas, like JJ suggested the candy poll. And,
Mm-hmm.
we'd love to hear more of that from you guys. And, on YouTube specifically, please like and subscribe because that really does a lot for our algorithm. So, yeah,
Yeah. So until next time, friends,
stay OA
in the
in
best
the best way.
way.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Halloween. Don't
Happy
eat too much
Halloween.
candy.
Stay safe.